All right, so if we're going to understand astrology, we need to understand the order it goes in and why. So astrology, as I say, is not just about your ego, you bragging about you're the best sign ever, because actually you need all of the signs, right? And at some point in your life, you're going to have transits and you're going to have different planets going in different signs that aren't your sign. So, you know, if in using astrology as a personal tool to develop and grow and not about ego is what I think is the key. And so we're going to think about it almost like a siblings, right? Older sibling, younger sibling, middle sibling. Let's think about earth, fire, water, and air. So let's start with Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's important to know what's first. So it starts everything. Aries energy is very adventurous. Aries energy is about experience, okay? So when you think about Aries, it is the first. So they're trying to come in first. They are more self-directed, okay? I do have notes, so I might look down, but individual, it's not the individual, okay? Think about it as fire, starting the fire. Aries starts the fire. They light the fire up. They're like, hey, I'm going to get things moving. Then we move to Leo. So Leo is the next sign, right? The next fire sign. Now we're starting to think about others because Leo is now like, yeah, here's the fire. Come see it. Come see it. Come see me. Come see me. So, you know, when we get to Leo, we start thinking about others and drawing people to our light. Whereas Aries energy was more about being self-motivated, self-involved, starting the fire, starting something. We now move to Leo energy where we're trying to draw people to us. Where, you know, Leo energy is now about fun. Hey, okay, yeah, we experienced that, but what's the meaning behind it, right? Let's have fun. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have fun. Okay, but remember, Leo can't have fun without other people. So whereas Aries is very self-driven, not Aries isn't like, I'm not talking about these as signs as people. Do you see what I'm saying? More about the energy. It's not that Aries isn't one of the people. It's like Aries is going whether you like it or not. Aries is going to do it with or without you. And Leo kind of needs more of an audience. But Leo usually has that reason for people wanting to go to Leos. Because Leo, when we carry Leo energy, when we tap into Leo energy, we're talking about creativity, light, shine, recognition, leadership. So now we get to a place where we now need others because we're able to guide others, but also because we want to show people the light, okay? Whereas with Aries, it's just starting the light. They're starting the experience, right? Then we move on to Sagittarius. So now we move from simply involving other people. We move from simply being creative, right? The energy that we know of Leo. And then we move to now messaging to the people because Sagittarius is the intellectual fire where they're going to use fire. So now it's like, their fire is now spreading. That's mutable. So Leo is fixed. So that's why it's staying in place. Hey, come see me. Aries is cardinal. They're starting it. Okay. And then we have Sagittarius, which is mutable fire. So now it needs to spread. It needs to share awareness. And we know that Sagittarius is the truth seeker. Sagittarius seeks to change by informing, by giving information, and not just giving information, but needing people to do something with that information, needing people to change their ideologies and how they go about things. Because Sagittarius is the last fire sign. So the last signs are always going to bring society or people to a bigger understanding. If you think about Capricorn, that big ambition, I'll get to that in a second. Pisces, Aquarius, all those last four signs, remember, think about what they represent. So that's how we go, we start and we end with fires. There's that transformation from just moving to self to then now saying, okay, self-awareness with Leo, to then we then move to Sag, where we need other people to be self-aware. We need other people to move and shake, as we saw happen with the Leo and Aries. Now we need other people to have an understanding of process and ideology and belief systems, which is Sag-like energy. Then when we move to, so we're going to go to Earth next, okay? So our first Earth sign is Taurus. Taurus is the master builder. They start the blueprint. Taurus energy starts the foundation. It is fixed Earth. So fixed Earth, here it is. Here's what it is. And that's the energy that we have to understand about Taurus, is being very good at starting the foundation for what something should be. Having safety, having security, right? So we move from Aries to trying to experience. Now we're trying to figure out safety and security and build something that's going to be durable, okay? So then we have our fixed Earth. We then have our mutable Earth, which is Virgo. So now Virgo's job is to look at Taurus and what they've done and basically analyze. You know, Virgo's job is to now break down what Taurus did and say, okay, great, we have this foundation. What's going to work? What's not going to work? You know, Virgo's, now we need to improve things. And if we think even on a societal level, we now move from Taurus, which is more so about their inner security, right? Or their security of their surroundings, right? and their security on what they need, to now we talk about the needs of others. Now Virgo starts to think about the needs of others. Virgo starts to think about, you know, how do we start to rope other people in? Because up until Virgo, there really isn't a sign of service, right? And we can consider a lot of other signs that care about service, you know, Sag, Aquarius, Pisces, but Virgo is the first one where it's like, it's not about their inner circle. It's not about who they choose. It's more so about what do we do for others. Now remember, Virgo is still doing this on a micro level, right? So we're not yet serving on a macro level like we would see like Aquarius, which is like rebel for change. So Virgo's job is that. The Virgo's job is to, before we even get to Capricorn, we have to break things down. We have to look at things and say, is this even going to work? Okay, let's see. How do we improve this before we send this up to Capricorn? So again, I'm talking symbolically here. So then we end with Capricorn as the cardinal earth. So now as cardinal earth, Capricorn's job is to now bring everything to a final goal and do it in such a way where that is the goal. Because remember, this is earth. We're thinking of what the point of earth is, and it's about sustainability. It's about material things. What are we going to actually gain or get? So now Saturn rules Capricorn, but now we've had Taurus lay the foundation. We've had Virgo analyze and probe and really figure out what is it that we need to do. How do we improve this? How do we make this better? And now Capricorn's able to take all that and say, here's the goal. This is what we're going to do. We're going to push forward. We're going to move forward. Okay. This is what the goal is. And they have this steadfast ability, Capricorn energy, to just hit the goal, because that is single-minded. That's all they care about. Okay. That's cardinal. We have cardinal, I wouldn't say fixed before. We have cardinal earth. That's cardinal earth with Capricorn. So now we're moving forward. Just like Aries did, started with fire. But now see how earth goes through kind of a different cycle than fire did. And then we're going to move on to water signs. Okay, so first water sign we have is Cancer. And so Cancer we know is cardinal. It's intuitive. It's personal. Okay, so cardinal energy for water is when we first start to see emotions arise, where it's a very raw, unfiltered, just portrayal of emotion, where they're not at Scorpio yet, so there's more of a ability to show these emotions and feel them in a very authentic way. So with cardinal water, we start to see with Cancer is this ability of just like being very pure with emotion. Think about the fact that Cancer is linked to the moon is linked to mother, and that idea of like, even think like a mother-child bond or relationship, where that is like a very pure relationship, right? It's there. It's just instinctual. It's not something you have to think about usually. Okay, and so we start with that, right? That raw emotion. Think about, you know, when you were a kid, the first time you got upset and how that felt. Or, you know, feeling upset when you're young and you don't know how to control it. That's Cancer energy, right? But also thinking of being young or being a child and having that unfiltered love and appreciation. Now, again, Cancer can sometimes, yes, there's a reason they have the moody stereotype. It's more so because it's usually because that energy is upset when they're not giving back what they give. They give a lot. So when they're not giving that love back, that it does become an issue, similar to Leo in that way. But when you think about Cancer energy in that way, you understand what the energy is about. It's this very pure, raw emotion and this unfiltered emotion, which can be good because sometimes we need to show people that we care, but it can be bad when we feel bad and we make everyone else see that we feel bad. And, you know, Cancer has that energy like that. So then we move to Scorpio. So what does Scorpio do? Scorpio is transformative. So now Scorpio is teaching Cancer energy. So if we're thinking about this as energy, not people right now, how to have control over your emotions. How to show people only what you want to show them. Because yes, being emotional is not bad. Like having emotions is not bad. We all have emotions. And when you stifle your emotions, they come out in very, harmful, self-harm, or even harmful to other people. And they come out in that way. So it's not good to stifle your emotions. But also we can't walk around all day long giving into our emotions, right? And so what Scorpio does, Scorpio is able to control emotion. So then we get to the point where we start to transmute energy. We start to transmute our emotions to our own personal gain, which is what we start to get with Scorpio. Now at the same time, Scorpio is not vulnerable. Not willing to be vulnerable like Cancer or even Pisces maybe to some extent. But Cancer is more private than Pisces. Pisces can be elusive, not private. There's a difference. There's a difference. So that's what we have going on with Scorpio energy. So now we're at the point where we're learning how to control our emotions and show what we want to show what we need to show. How to stay. It's fixed water. So fixed water is like ice. And so ice needs a lot to melt. So it's when we're learning how to stay true to what we really feel. right? Being true to what we feel. Not Cancer can be very receptive to their environment. So sometimes Cancer energy, depending on the person, can be very affected by their environment. Whereas you might see a Scorpio is able to stay calm and cool because they know what they've decided what's important to them. Then we get to Pisces. With Pisces, it's mutable water. And so now we don't have these same conditions that we have with Cancer, right? With Cancer can get loves, but gives, can sometimes change and turn that right off when they feel like they haven't been given it back in return. You know, has more demand, more demanding than Pisces. And we don't have the same fear of showing vulnerability or emotions as Scorpio. Not that it's always a fear, but it's a careful dance with Scorpio, what they decide to show. So with Pisces, we now have, what did I write here? Unconditional love, right? Other signs, I've said this before, the other water signs can have conditions that you have to meet, but Pisces represents unconditional love, the collective consciousness of understanding things beneath the surface. So, Pisces is a spiritual sign. And for people that even aren't spiritual, what you'll notice is they have Pisces-like tendencies. It could be escapism. They like living in a dream world, or they might be someone who's able to be creative and make things that no one else can think of because of that Pisces energy. Or, you know, could be someone who's really stuck in a certain type of dream or fantasy that they want. So either way, there's so many different ways an energy can show itself. You know, Pisces can, but also can just simply be being a very open and compassionate person. Where now with Pisces, we're able to have compassion. We started with Aries, which was passionate. Pisces is the last sign of Zodiac. So now we are able to be compassionate and truly care about people, care about life without these conditions and all of these different things, hoops that people have to jump through. You know, hard work is kind of over when you get to the Pisces, and that's why sometimes people can like not understand Pisces energy. And it doesn't mean that it's okay to do that, you know, skirt off responsibilities. But it simply means with Pisces, they're able to relax because they've already seen and done it all. Symbolically, the sign is the last sign of the Zodiac. So that's what I mean by that. Like they've seen it all, they've done it all. Pisces people are considered, some of them are very old souls, you know, and that's why sometimes they just have that more dreamy aspect to them because they've already been here before, so to speak. If you think about youth, an Aries would be like a baby that's just born, trying to experience and touch and see everything. And Pisces is like a 95-year-old who's at peace. They don't have any gripes right now. So you see what I'm saying? They've seen it all. They're wise. They have wisdom. They don't really have an agenda. See what I'm saying? Other signs have an agenda sometimes. All right, so let's go to our air signs. So our first air sign is Gemini. Gemini is already associated with a very youthful energy. So first of all, it's the third sign of the Zodiac. So it's a very youthful energy. It's curious. Gemini energy is curious. It's objective. It's when you're first learning something. So remember those 4 first signs. When you're first starting to love, when you start, Cancer, Aries, you first start to experience things. Taurus, you're trying to learn what in your life is secure, right? And with Gemini, we're learning. Think about when you first went to school and you just soaked up all the information because you just were amazed. That is Gemini energy. You're very youthful, curious, I want to know more. Then you move on to Libra. So Libra is, and Gemini is mutable. So that's why it spreads, it doesn't have the same structure. It's mutable air. So air and mutable, we know, goes everywhere. So that's sometimes that the energy of Gemini is that very youthful, not serious type of energy. Again, depends on the person. I'm not talking about people right now per se, more so energy. And then we go to Libra. So Libra is the second air sign. It is cardinal air. So now what we do with that communication is Libra learns to apply it to relating to others. So now I'm able to take what I know and now I can actually start building relationships. That's why they're cardinal, because they're the relationship builders. Based off what knowledge, though, not just love. Yes, Venus is the planet of love and romance and values and all that, but we're talking about just simply being able to relate to other people, being able to evaluate, right? You know, people think of Libra just as partnership, but remember, Libra is the balances. So Libra's job is to be, is sometimes objective, kind of like that Gemini, you know, carrying on that energy from Gemini, and basically being able to tell people, like being able to be kind of like a deliberator, a peacemaker, or someone who's simply able to kind of control the social graces a little bit. That's why they're cardinal, even though people sometimes don't think that cardinal has to be like an Aries who can be a little bit more outward with it. But Libra can be an extroverted energy for sure. And so that's where from Gemini, we now learned how to apply what we know to relationships with other people and relate to other people, right? Because now, how can we do what Aquarius is doing without Libra? So now with Aquarius, which is the last sign of the Zodiac, it's now, what do we do with the information? We've related to people, we've gotten the information. Aquarius is related to logic, of course, because we have a very procedural mindset sometimes with Aquarius energy. That's why they can be smart. That's why a lot of Aquarius, I mean, anybody can be smart. But Aquarius sometimes doesn't have to work as hard as other signs. It just comes to them. But that's the Saturn part of them. The Uranus part of them is the unpredictable part of Aquarius, where they don't like structure. So Aquarius people can sometimes struggle because it's like they have two planets ruling them that are very different. So that's why Aquarius people sometimes can have that inner struggle of like, do I be responsible? Do I not? Sometimes it can be a little bit unpredictable. And you're like, oh, you're serious today? Oh, you don't care today? Like, it's all those different things. And so, but Aquarius has impact on groups. Okay? So much with the opposite sign, Leo. Aquarius is now not even just groups, but Aquarius is linked to society, societal changes. How do we change the attitudes and beliefs of society? Well, first we had to go through Libra, where we related to people first. Think about all this as an energy, guys. I'm not talking necessarily about people right now, personality types. I have plenty of videos about that. But first we had to have Gemini. Gemini had to have the curiosity in the first place. So now we end with Aquarius energy, where Aquarius energy is now has more ability to bring people together for a common belief system, or we have an ability to move things forward for society. It's linked to revolution, it's linked to technology and changes in that. So Aquarius energy is linked to how do we rebel against what has been established, and how do we create something brand new through information and knowledge. All right, so that is it for that video. Please visit my website if you're like, whoa, this is interesting, but I want to know about me and my signs. Where's my moon? Where's my rising? You can go to my website, www.amethystvirgo.com. I do have plenty of information on there, but I also have a link if you'd like to buy a personalized reading or a tarot reading. So thank you for watching.